Coming at you full-fledged, it's your boy Regg, with another video for y'all, man. Welcome, YouTube. Basketball season is officially over. And this is the story I specifically chose to cover because of how close it is to me. And since all of my subs aren't from the same area, I did want to shed some light on it to the people who weren't aware of the story. So I'm going to read this article and then provide my analysis. The article reads from CBS Chicago, from Todd Fuhrer and Charlie DeMar, written just not even 12 hours ago, 4:50 a.m. It reads, charges dropped against mother and son in deadly West Pullman shooting. Video shows man punching woman. Cook County prosecutors have dropped murder charges against a woman and her 14-year-old son in the shooting death of a man during a fight in a West Pullman restaurant after video came to light showing that man punching the woman before her son shot him. Carlisha Hood, 35, and her son have been charged with first-degree murder in the slaying of 32-year-old Jeremy Brown on June 18th at the Maxwell Street Express located in the 11600 block of South Halsted Street. Hood, who was a valid Ford car and concealed carry license holder at the time of the incident, was also charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. All charges against both Hood and her son were dropped on Monday. In a statement, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox's office said that the decision was, quote, based upon our continued review and in light of emerging evidence. Based upon the facts, evidence, and law, we are unable to meet our burden of proof in the prosecution of these cases, Fox's office said. Hood walked free from the Cook County jail and embraced her family hours after the charges were dropped Monday morning. She declined to comment as she was released, but her attorney and family said they were relieved that she is back home, saying justice finally has been served. Prosecutors early had acknowledged the shooting was caught on video. According to prosecutors, Hood was in line getting food while her son waited inside their car. Shortly after Brown entered the restaurant, video posted to social media shows Hood arguing with Brown inside the restaurant. During the argument, Hood began texting her 14-year-old son who was waiting inside the car. Surveillance video outside the restaurant shows the teen entered the restaurant, and cell phone video from inside shows Brown punching Hood at least 3 times in the head and face. Prosecutors said that's when the teen pulled out a gun from his hoodie and shot Brown in the back, fled the restaurant, but the teen followed him outside. He fired more shots after Hood told him to shoot and kill him, prosecutors said. He was shot twice in the back and later died from his injuries. It's unclear why prosecutors decided to charge Hood and her son with murder in the shooting when their account of the shooting noted Brown had punched before and her son shot Brown. Prosecutors also acknowledged the shooting was caught on video. You have the right to use deadly force to stop that force against another person, and that's exactly what's happened in this case. And that's exactly why the state's attorney's office dropped the case today. CBS 2 legal analyst Irv Miller said. Miller said criminal charges, let alone murder charges, never should have been approved in this case. This goes beyond an injustice. Frankly, it's a miscarriage of justice as to what happened to this woman and her son, he said. It's a situation where either the charges should have been rejected or, at the very minimum, should have been continued for investigation rather than just, say, okay, murder charge, send him to court. Hood had been ordered held on a $3 million bond after she was charged last week. Her son was charged as juvenile and was held without bail before the charges were dropped. Both are now free. Neither Hood nor her son had a previous criminal record. Hood is planning to file a lawsuit. Now, I decided to make a video on this story, not only because of the proximity of it, but due to the various takes I've seen on social media. And since the story is pretty much over in the eyes of the court, I want to share what I believe. I want to share that I believe that the mother, from all angles, is completely wrong. Completely wrong. I had this conversation with somebody yesterday that woman could have done anything but call her son to come fight her battles. But first, let's acknowledge the fact that she has poor problem-solving skills. And this is to not victim blame, because 50% of all violence is avoidable. I don't care what no one says. The man, Jeremy Brown, was clearly mentally unstable. He warns you to essentially diffuse the situation by being quiet before he gets violent. And you continue to talk. After he did what he did, you had the option to call the police, because quiet as kept. This is not a quiet as kept. Women, particularly black women, love the police. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make this a black man, black woman thing, but that is the case. You have them on your side. Or defend yourself with your gun. Instead, you chose to order your 14-year-old son, which was premeditated, to defend you. Again, the boy 14. So he doesn't know and shouldn't know. If he misuses the gun, for example, he shot the man twice, then left him as he was retreating and shot him again. So you can't do that. This is not the street. You can't shoot somebody, stop there, shoot them again. If you're going to shoot them, you have to neutralize them by injuring them or by deleting them. He doesn't know if he misuses the gun in that context, he's risking serious jail time. Again, thankfully the boy avoided the record of a crime. Unfortunately, for the young man though, now he has to worry about the politics of the streets. From a different perspective, Brown's family is not happy about what just happened. I saw this. I haven't even been too deep in this. It's just all the stuff I seen. I really wanted to talk about it. I haven't been too knee deep in this story, but I seen it. I saw a Facebook post from, I think, the mother of Brown, who explained that her son, right or wrong, was the victim in this situation because he didn't deserve to be deleted. Another detail surrounding the incident that hasn't been talked about enough, in my opinion, is the girlfriend. If you remember, the girlfriend was egging Brown on before everything popped off. Not to mention that her and Brown had children together, or have children together, in light of the shooting. So while you claim out of emotion that's what you would have done, I don't think anybody with a sound mind would have done what the mother did. Again, the woman had some sort of gun license in the city of Chicago, for starters. So she knew where she was. She knew how she could potentially handle her issues. She could have called the police. She could have used her own gun, or simply resolved the growing issue by granting the man his wishes. The son was simply doing what he was ordered to do by his parents. Now, him deleting somebody, which should never even be in the mind of someone that age. That has to follow him. And that has to follow him in reality in the city of Chicago. Because I heard other people say this, TikTokers, YouTubers, even a TikToker who lived in Chicago. And I agree with it. In the mind of Brown's family members and his friends, they don't care what the situation is. They just lost a loved one. And that is about to follow that boy. And while all the virtue signaling people, all the virtue signaling mama's boys, all the toxic black feminazis on social media, I hope that you really care about this boy. I hope that you really care about the mother. I hope that you are concerned with that boy's protection, the much quote-unquote protection, as much as you was concerned with the mother's quote-unquote protection. Because again, this follows him for the rest of his life. Now, while not necessarily in court, this is going to follow him in the street of Chicago. His mother, I don't care what nobody says, she backdoored him, knowing that was her gun. She could have did anything else, but instead she tell him to fire the gun. Again, I hope y'all concerned about his safety the way y'all was concerned about quote unquote her safety that she didn't even care about, because she could have prevented this situation from popping up the way it did several times. And this just goes into a deeper topic, man. Black man, quote unquote black man, protect your seed. Protect who you inseminate. Then after that, you are responsible for your child. You are responsible for having a child. So this situation didn't even really supposed to be happening, because I seen or heard or read nothing about the father in this whole situation since I heard about it. And again, this is not a gender war. This is not a race war video. I'm just speaking facts. You should never, at that age of 14, a boy should never have most of his information coming from his mother at 14 years old. Because it's emotional. That was emotional. Now, while, again, even if it wasn't emotional, she had different options. She had different options. She had a gun. She didn't even have to be in this situation. She didn't have to have a $33 million bond. She didn't have to do that. You need a man in this situation. Or you need a man in this situation, in the situation of the family dynamic period, to prevent it. But they ain't gonna say nothing about that though. Again, the black man is, in the realm of the society and his quote unquote community especially, is a security dog. He's treated as a dog. You should be grateful that we give you the scraps. You protect the house, and when you make a mistake, we kick you outside. You are the security dog. That's literally how this mother just treated her son. She literally just used this boy as a scapegoat. Now, it looked like she had money to file lawsuits. She better invest that money into moving into another city or state. Again, I'm not condoning anything. I'm not a fan of criminality at all. I'm not a fan of violence. But I'm not going to be sanctimonious to say violence is never the resolution to an issue. My thing is always, sometimes it's not always, but most of the time, very rarely is violence the answer. That's all I'm gonna say. So that's all I had to say in this video, man. We're gonna get more deeper in some of these. Again, I don't want to do too much national. This is somewhat local. It's Chicago. Chicago, like 4, 5, 6 hours away. Depending on how you're going, how you're traveling. I know Amtrak just changed their speed from St. Louis to Chicago to 110 miles, so it'll probably take you around an hour and 15 minutes. I don't know. Who knows? Let me know what y'all think, man. Was the woman wrong? How does the boy go about fixing his life? Because this is going to follow him in the eyes of the streets, in the eyes of how he looks at his mother, in the eyes of how he looks at himself for the rest of his life. How should he go about fixing himself? He's only 14. He just made it in high school. Maybe he could seek out some counseling. Maybe he could seek out advice from an older man. Jeremy Brown, was he completely wrong in this situation? That's pretty much self-explanatory. Let me know what y'all think. Hit that like button, comment at the beginning, middle, and ending of the video. Subscribe if you're new. Of course, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop. And if there's a particular topic that you want me to speak on, hit that link in the pinned comment section below and donate to the Regg, man. Wow. Crazy story, man. Very crazy. Unfortunate. I'm out.